going to be making a wax burner today using this mould from Temu, and I'm going to be using the Let's Resin Magic Pour. And then once it's demolded, I'm going to use some acrylic paints to decorate it with flowers, and I'm going to paint the flowers using some cotton buds. So let's get some Magic Pour mixed up and then we can get started. The Let's Resin Magic Pour is mixed to a ratio of 3:1 by weight, but I'm not going to measure it out. I've used this quite a lot, so I do know the consistency that it should be. So I'm just going to add some water to my pot first of all, and then I'm going to add in the powder. I find it easier to add the powder to the water, but you can do it either way. So let's pop some of that into there and then get that mixed in. That's all mixed in now, and you're looking for like a batter-like or a pancake mix consistency. So next I'm going to use the Mrresin pigment in blue, and I only want this to be like a real pale blue, so just a tiny drop going in there, and then I'm going to get that mixed in. Now that's all mixed in, that's a lovely sort of pastely baby blue colour. So I'm just going to pour that straight into the mould. Just going to take it slowly and just let it find its own way into there. Nearly done. Last little bit to go. That was lucky. I wasn't sure if I'd made enough, but just a tiny little dribble left in there. I'm only going to give this a little tiny tap, and then I'm going to use a stick just to go around this inside rim here, because you can get some bubbles trapped in that bit. So let's make sure we get those out. Right, so we're just going to leave this to cure now, and then I'll see you back for demold. This is all cured up now, and with the leftover Magic Pour I made a pair of earrings. So that's those. Very pretty, and just edge those in a silver chrome marker pen. Beautiful. I love that mould. Right, let's get this one out now and see how it's looking. Do I need to do this off camera, or will it be okay? Let's see if I can roll those sides up. I might need my belly. No, it's getting there, I think. There we go. Got there in the end. Let's just pop that middle section out. Give that a pull. Don't forget to pop your moulds back in the right way. You don't want to end up with creases in them. So that's how the pot is looking, and then the lid sits on there like that. Well, not lid, that's where you put the wax in, and the candle in there. Right, and it also looks like I didn't clean out my mould from the previous make very well, so I've got some darker patches in there, but that's not going to matter because we're going to paint that. So let's start painting. I've got my paint palette that I made the other day, so I'm going to start off using pale green in one of the sections. Let's pop some of that into there, and then in the next one let's add some of the cerulean blue. Pop that in there, and then in the last one I'm going to add some violet. Let's pop some of that into that one, and then using my cotton bud, let's get some flowers drawn on here. Right, so let's start with the green at the top. I'm just gonna flick out some of the green on here, and then we're going to go in with the blue and just add separate bits on there, and then just keep layering them up. And then we go in with some purple, add some of that down the bottom, and then just fill in the other little areas there, just going backwards and forwards in between all the different colours. Let's take it a bit further down the bottom there, I think. Going with a bit more of that purple. So let's just do a little bit of purple on the top. So that's my first one done. So we're just going to carry on all the way around the pot. Let's do a slightly smaller one next to it here. Going with some blue. Let's change my tip. So I'm just going to carry on doing this all the way around. I'm not sure if you need to see me doing this over and over. So I think I'll pop you on a bit of a fast forward maybe. So that's my flowers done around the outside. Quite abstract, but still pretty, I think. They look quite cool, don't they? So now I think they need some grass on the bottom. So I've got another green. I've got phthalo green. So let's pop some of that down. And some more of that pale green in there. And then we're just going to use a cotton bud and give them something to sit on, well, like the grass on the bottom. So let's just go in with both the greens, and then we're just going to add in some grass down the bottom. Nice and simple, nothing too difficult. Add some more of that lighter green. Let's do the darker green on the bottom of that one and go in with that. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. You probably don't need to see me doing that, do you? So I'll do this all the way around the base and then I'll see you back in a minute. So that's all my flowers and the grass bottom bit done there now. So we're just going to leave that to dry and then I'll see you back for the next bit. Now this is all dry, I can seal it, and I'm going to be using my own homemade sealing wax today. And this is now available in my eBay store, but unfortunately just to the UK at the moment. Right, so I'm just going to put some on my cloth, and then we're just going to seal all around the pot and also over the top of the paint. So while I'm doing this, I'll just quickly mention that today's video is part of the Friendship Express train that's organised by myself and Susie from Serendipity Creations, Tina from Pour Resin with Love, and Amy from Resonating Art by Amy Ann. So there will be a playlist in my description box, so feel free to check that out and check out all the other lovely videos that get made each week. Right, so I'm just going to leave that to soak in for a couple of minutes and then we'll buff that off. So now that's been sat on there for a little while, I'm just going to use a dry bit of my cloth and buff that in, and that will give it a nice sheen. Right, so that's all done. So all that's left to do is pop a little candle in there, pop the little tin on the top, pop your wax melts in there, and then that's my little wax burner done. So thank you ever so much for watching my video today. Don't forget to check out the playlist and stay tuned for the pictures at the end. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Sunlight gleaming through the pane on my little houseboat domain. Got my molds and colors right, crafting algae day and night, floating gently on the bay, watching little fishes play. But my mind's on swirls and gleam, living out a crafty dream. Got my epoxy hardener too, mix 'em up a shade of blue, pour it slow with careful hand. Let's start resin in the land. Resin magic on the houseboat, turning plastic into gold. Little trinket, shiny new, crafted just for me and you. From a simple